Hello! This is round 8 of Menorca Open, and this is like the second to last round, which is crazy. Just finished the game, and I'm very excited to show you how it went. I was playing as an international master, so I was playing as a really strong player, and you know that I love playing as strong players. Like, playing as a strong players is amazing because one, you learn a lot, but two, you kind of get to like prove yourself or try to beat someone that's a little bit higher rated, and you kind of become the underdog, and I love that. I love being the underdog. So I was having a lot of fun playing this game, and I can't wait to show it to you because it was a crazy game. So this table is so long. Like, do you see how long this is? Like, my hands, if I'm like this, don't reach from one side to the other. It's actually crazy. I wonder, like, what hotels have this, but I'm really happy that they do. So I was facing Neil Bradbury from England, and he had a rating of 2200, but he was an international master. So the game started with him playing d4, I played d5, c4, e6, and he played a Catalan. Now, I was very excited about this because my mom and me had prepared some really fun lines with the Catalan that I'd never played before. So I was really excited to play it against him and see how it goes because they were very tactical. So I took on c4. This is part of the prep. He went bishop g2. I was playing these moves, trying to look very confident, trying to just kind of sit up and look like I know exactly what I'm doing because I feel like that's part of chess too. Bishop b4 check. Bishop d2, blocking the check, and now a5, defending this bishop. Like I said, this is the first time in my life that I play this, and he went for the move castles. I castled, and now he actually played this move knight c3, which is not one of the main moves, and actually was not part of what I'd prepped. So I didn't really know exactly what to do here. So I ended up playing c6, which is a good move, but now I played bishop g5, and now it's really important that I play the move knight d7 to prevent the move knight e5. Now, the reason I didn't do this was because actually I think I just forgot that here I can just take and then trade queens, and that I'm just doing really good here because I can just move my knight up to d5. So I think that I just completely forgot about this, and in this position instead I played the move b5, which is not a terrible move, but now it's going to be a little bit uncomfortable because I can play the move knight e5. So this was the game, and here I went rook a6, just because the threat is actually for him to go knight takes b5, and it's also a threat for him to go knight takes c6. So the reason this is a threat is because this bishop is pinning the pawn. So I went rook a6 to prevent all of this. He went a4 here, and the idea is that he's targeting my b5 pawn, so I need to do something about the situation. So what I did was that I went bishop d7. Now here actually it's probably better to go rook b6 and keep just the bishop here. And then try to go knight d7 instead, and just try to get the knight around, because after bishop d7 the problem is that my knight gets kind of stuck. So I was kind of trapping this knight, which became kind of problematic. So knight e4, I went bishop e7, unpinning the knight, knight c5, and now I pretty much have to take this knight because otherwise he has some really nasty threats. If I go rook a7, he goes bishop takes f6, and after I capture back, he has to move knight c d7. And after I take this, he has knight takes c6, winning my exchange. So this becomes extremely problematic. So I had to take, I went h6, which my mom said was a really good move. That made me very excited.
So let's see, if Anna finds h6, this is a grandmaster moment. I would say it's so difficult to play that, really so difficult. And afterwards, anything else, she will be a big problem. Anything else, if you go the queen to e8 here now, then we have queen d6, we have knight d5, and we could actually, we go here, knight b4, and we will actually, we can go f6. No, we can't. We are losing a piece here. I have no idea after e4. And she played h6. This was the grandmaster move, and Anna played it. She played h6, and I think this is so beautiful. Anna played h6. This is absolutely the best move, and I have seen this in lots of middle game that Anna has played the brilliant move, the best move, and this was actually the only move to stay. I would say really to stay in the game.
So h6, really important move. Any other move will just make me lose on the spot pretty much. I have to eliminate the bishop, and now I need to take with the pawn because otherwise my bishop is hanging. So I played knight g4, and here I was thinking, should I go f5, should I go h5, or should I go e5 to threaten this knight. Now the best move is actually to go h5, because then the only option he has is to go knight e3. Now the reason I didn't play this was because I thought it was scary to leave a pawn on h5. It felt like it would be very vulnerable at some point with the queen. But this actually, after bishop c8, is fine for me. Or fine, I mean it's still a bit worse, but would have been better. e5 I got really scared about because I thought that after this, bishop e6 and queen c2, I thought he would get some really good light squares. And I got a bit worried about that. But this is definitely the best chance that I have. So this is what I need to try to go for. So instead, I played the move f5, but now the problem is that his knight comes back to e5, and now his knight is just very strong. So I went queen c7, he played queen d4, I went f6, threatening the knight, and after knight attacking my rook, I moved my rook up one step. So far, I'm right now getting a little bit demolished in the opening. My position is not good, but funnily enough, I actually thought I was doing really good. I was playing for the win here. And it's hilarious because my mom, she said, Anna, it's great that you're so delusional because it means that you're always playing for a win. I was like, Mom, don't call me delusional. But she was like, it's great that you think that you're winning and losing positions because then you actually play better. If you start thinking, oh no, I'm losing and blah, 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 then you just play very passively. So I was playing for the win here. I thought that as long as I get my knight out, I'm a pawn up and and this pawn is weak. So I actually thought I was doing pretty okay. I went king h7 with the idea being of eliminating the knight. If I go king g7, the king is going to be on the same diagonal as the queen, which I didn't like. So he went knight h4 and I went rook a7 because I wanted to open up the square for the knight. He went e4 and now I played knight a6. I think a better chance would have been to take and go f5, or a better move, to put it that way, a better chance in this position. The idea being that if the bishop retreats, now I can go knight a6. Now the reason I didn't do this was because I was a bit worried that after this and knight a6 that this would become a big threat, but I can actually just go rook g7 and queen f6 doesn't really do anything because I can just simply go rook a8 and there's not really anything. Even if check, I just move my king actually, so this is very fine. But I didn't do this, I didn't take, instead I went knight a6, and now this pawn became a big problem. He played bishop h3, threatening the pawn, and I went knight b4. This is the only thing I can do, I need to do something with the knight. Now here I'm threatening knight c2, which is a fork. Forking the queen and the king, the queen and the rook. So I thought, okay, he'll probably go like rook d1 to stop this. However, he played rook e1, and I just went, what? Like at the board, I was like, what am I missing? So I spent like 3 minutes trying to figure out why knight c2 doesn't just win an exchange on the spot. And it did. And my opponent told me after the game, he was like, I just blundered knight c2. So my opponent, and he just blundered the exchange. And I was, like, oh, wow, amazing. Now I get an exchange at least. So here I actually thought I was completely winning. He should go queen d1 to try to bring the queen around, but he went queen c3. And now we traded rooks, and I'm all of a sudden better.
And what did he play? No, he played queen c3. He played the queen to c3. He played the queen to c3. Is that right? He played the queen to c3. And actually, this was not such a good move. Anna took an e1. And now queen d8, rook a8 is also possible. She can play lots of different moves.
So I played queen d8. The idea being that I wanted to play queen f8 or rook e7. He played queen f3, and now I have this move rook e7, which is really good. So he played rook d1, because if he trades rooks, it's just winning for me. And now I went queen e8, which is also a really good move, threatening rook e1 check. He played king f2, and now my most winning move in this position is to go b takes a4, just simply taking this pawn and not allowing for any counterplay. If he goes here, not a problem. I just go, well, I can go anything I want. I can go, no, I cannot go here because there is takes, but I can actually just ignore the threat and go rook b7. So that's also the idea of taking this pawn, is that I open up the b file. I completely didn't see this idea though, and I went for the move bishop e6 to try to put a bishop on d5. However, I missed the fact that now he can just simply take on b5. And now this is very different. Now this is not so good for me because this c6 pawn ends up controlling my whole position. So it was crucial for me before to take this a4 pawn, and I just missed that idea. Even if I had time on the clock, I mean, I even had more time than him pretty much at that point. So I went for this move, rook a6. I wanted to target this pawn. I should have gone rook c7. I cannot let the rook come into the 7th file. So yeah, I don't really know exactly why I went rook a6 and not rook c7. Rook c7 makes a lot more sense. I played rook a6, and now the problem is that my rook becomes completely out of play. And here I played b4 because I wanted to play c3, but I was being very delusional here, thinking I had more time than I had. And I started just realizing that I was in a lot of problems. But he played this move, knight takes f5, and now my only chance is to go rook c7 and try to win this pawn. This is everything that I can do, and I guess that I didn't do this because I was worried about some intermediates, but there's nothing here actually. And yeah, I simply actually took here, which is just a huge blunder, and now my pawn on f6 just simply falls. So it was really important for me to keep this bishop blocking the rook's entry, but somehow it just didn't see that, and it just came crashing down a few moves later, and I lost the game. And this was extremely sad because just a few moves before, I'd had such a good position. So this game really just went down to the wire, and it really was just about the fact that I just missed this idea of taking on a4, and that I later actually just missed how strong the rook would become here in front of the king. So it was really sad that that happened. Obviously, all these moves were made when I had little time, but I was just upset that I had, taken myself to this time situation. I think I got confident because he had little time too, but he was playing better than me with little time. So yeah, this was just very sad to lose the game against an international master in this way. I definitely had my chances in this game, and after the game I was pretty sad, to be honest. Not as sad as the day before, but definitely pretty sad. So yeah, I mean, what is there to do? You have to learn from this, and I think what I've learned is that I need to play tournaments where you get increment at move 40. That is, I think, what I've learned. But I have taken with me what my mom said, that I should still fight for a win. Even, if I think I'm worse, I should keep on fighting and keep on trying to find the best moves all the way until the end. Maybe not fight for the win, but always fight. Because that's the one thing you can do in chess. You can fight on the chessboard. So that's what you always have to do. So yeah, very sad, obviously, that I lost the game in this way. But I'm still excited to play the opening that I played when someone plays the stuff that I prepared. So always something positive in everything. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this recap. Thank you so much for supporting me throughout this tournament. There's one round to go, and we'll see what happens in the final round, in round number 9. All right, wish me luck for round 9.